Yo, what is going on, guys? J.Yumeko here, and today we're finally back with Cinderella phenomenon. It's been so long. It's been so long. I'm sorry. I know it's been. How long has it been since I've gotten to this poor, neglected series? I mean, really, damn. Let me check. Last time we did it was 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago. Damn. Okay, we're back. We're ready. We're ready to jump on into it. Yeah, Karma's Root. Let's go. Continue. Boom. You really are a handful. But a delightful handful. His words keep repeating in my head. I cannot stop hearing his voice and feeling his lips on my hand. My face feels warm, and every time I think about his words, my heartbeat feels unsteady. I really have to stop thinking about that. Karma's karma, and he puts on that overly polite act with everyone. But then I'm pretty sure that I've never seen him do something like that with another person. I'll just go downstairs and stop thinking about all of this. I need to tell Parfait and Delora what happened. Because of the time I'd returned to the marching yesterday, I never spoke to anyone about what happened. Maybe someone's downstairs. Someone usually is. I leave my room and make my way downstairs to the reception. It's quiet when I enter, but not as silent as I thought it would be. Karma sitting at one of the tables speaking quietly with Parfait and Delora. His injured hand is sitting on the table, bandaged. I cannot help but stare at it, my heart plummeting. His injury is my fault. So, you have yet to hear the entire story? No, I'm afraid not. Blech. I'm afraid I'm not quite privy to the information Waltz has. Is that correct? Waltz has been directly involved in this far longer than you have. What about Waltz? Princess, you're up early. They all turn to look at me as I stand at the table. Karma still looks tired and is not in his dress. He looks somber, but he still smiles at me. Yumeko, how nice of you to join us. When did he start saying my name without my title? Yumeko, you've run into a lot of different mishaps this week, haven't you? I thought you would be stubbornly avoiding work. Instead, you go out of your way to get yourself into trouble. This involves me directly. How would I not be curious? You've also been irresponsible, sneaking out without any of us knowing. I have the freedom to do what I want when I want to. I even wore a cloak to... Oh no, the cloak. I left it at the bar. I feel a nudge at my arm and Karma's holding out my cloak with a tired smile. You went back to get this? When? Yesterday, when you were still in bed. You've been running yourself dry these last few weeks, Karma. It's nothing. Thank you. What's this? Our ice princess is thanking someone. Then why is that something so strange? Oh, come on now, she's not so icy. Yumeko's more fire than anything. She's filled with unbridled passion and confidence. Confidence that's gotten me nowhere so far. Don't look so dour, Yumeko. You've become quite the accomplished woman. Karma gestures towards me and I flush, unsure of what he's talking about. Then I notice Delora's eyes are on me too. Oh, Parfait, do you see that? What are they looking at? I reach down to grab my necklace and then pause. I cannot stop the gasp that leaves my lips. When did this happen? Princess, you didn't realize that there was an extra piece to your necklace. Congratulations, Princess Yumeko. You're a step closer to breaking your curse. I feel proud. I only ever felt this way around Mother. She did me a great favor yesterday. If not for Yumeko, I might have suffocated beneath a pile of very excitable women. Wait, Helping Karma escape was a good deed. She was selfless. He's not even mentioning the injury he got protecting me. Parfait and Delora are both smiling, but the cheerful mood does not last long. What were you all talking about before I came down? About your kidnapping. Well, kidnappings. Both of them. It looks like we have a serious problem on our hands. What do you know about this? What does Waltz know that I don't? Princess, it's more about what everyone else knows that you don't. What everyone else knows? I feel anger begin to simmer inside of me. Even though he looks apologetic, he says it so casually. What are you all hiding from me? Let's gather everyone later on, shall we? I think Waltz might want to be here for this one too. What does Waltz have to do with any of it? Be patient, Princess. You've already waited this long. What's another few hours? I have no choice but to agree with Parfait and Delora. No choice but to agree. Oh, when Parfait refused to say anything more, but I'm not happy about it. I spend the rest of my time doing idle chores around the tavern. I do a round of sweeping with Mr. Broom and mindlessly organize some of the bottles. I cannot believe everyone knows something about me that I don't. But now, I'll find out the entire story. Maybe it will answer some of the questions I have. But why are they keeping things about me a secret to begin with? Delora gathers everyone in the tavern to discuss the kidnappings. I decide to sit in between Waltz and Karma. So, we have a story to tell. Story time, huh? I don't suppose this would be romance, would it? How can you stand to make comments like that so casually? How can I stand to live a lie? The two glare at each other across the table, but Delora silences them. Delora starts with the story about the Great War, one that I've already heard so many times I can recite it myself. What does any of this have to do with me? Because of the fairy tales, witches like myself were punished for simply existing. Our leader, the Tenenbaum Bearer, was a kind witch that was overtaken by the grief that our people suffered. She was driven so far into madness that she created the fairy tale curse to punish humans and make them suffer as the witches had. And when that wasn't enough, she committed the ultimate taboo. She killed a human. I tried to stop her, but by the time I thought to act, it was too late. Knowing that Delora and Parfait were involved in the Great War makes it seem more real. But wasn't the Tenenbaum Bearer killed? How can the fairy tale curse continue to spread if she's dead? I believe that the Tenenbaum Bearer sacrificed the last bit of her power to continue powering the Tenenbaum. All to ensure that the remaining witches could continue spreading the fairy tale curse. Is none of this ringing a bell for you? What are you talking about? She really did erase your memories. Erase? The witch who died, the Tenenbaum Bearer, was your mother, Princess Yumeko. What? For some reason I turned to look at Karma, who is one of the only people who doesn't look away from me. I grew up outside of this kingdom, but even I knew of the terrible witch Hilda. You expect me to believe any of this? Mother was... She wasn't a witch. I would remember that. Well, you would if you had your memories of the war, and the years before that. Under Hilda's... Oh, this is Julian. Under Hilda's rule, the palace was a dark place. The king didn't have any real power until Hilda was defeated. That goes with the rest of us too. We were slaves to Hilda. Delora's eyes flicker to Waltz. It's the truth. Waltz knows because he's also a witch. He experienced Hilda's command over the witches firsthand as well. Waltz is a witch? Sorry for keeping it secret, Princess. It's not as if I can use much magic anymore anyway. Not when I'm cursed. This is just another secret of many. It seems like everyone is hiding something. Everyone was freed after Hilda's reign. Witches, fairies and humans alike. The king was even able to marry Ophelia, the woman he always truly loved. So, it had always been Ophelia that he truly loved. Was that the reason I never felt any love from him? Because I was my mother's daughter? He gave up on me. No, dear, I don't think he gave up on me! My voice is too loud in the reception area. I feel it crack beneath the pressure and suddenly I want to cry. But Mother told me so many times, don't cry. The king gave up on me. My mother didn't. Mother would tell me that this was all a lie. She would tell me not to trust anyone. They must be lying. I turned to Karma. For some reason I trust him more than I trust Laura or Parfait. Is this the truth? I was told the story of Hilda and her daughter Yumeko. They said you were the picture of her elegance, but that you shared your mother's icy nature. But I don't think that's true at all. If Hilda was ice, then you most certainly are a warm fire. If my mother was a witch, then what does that make me? You're a witch as well, whether or not you were ever taught to use magic. On your upcoming birthday, you will become the Tenenbaum bearer. Do you realize how ridiculous this all sounds? Me, a witch? The king never said anything. Now I can't even ask him if this is the truth because I'm cursed. Why would you even curse me? We didn't want a repeat of that tragedy, Yumeko. I sat on your shelves for almost a year, Princess. There was ice in your heart, and if you had inherited the Tenenbaum in that state, who knows what would have happened? Then why didn't you just tell me any of this? Delore and Parfait looks at each other before dropping their gazes to the ground. If we had told you before, would you have even bothered to listen? The king must have tried to do the same thing, and look how that turned out. You shut out everyone who ever tried to tell you about Hilda's true nature. That's probably true. Even now I'm having trouble believing that they're telling me the truth. The whole world feels as if it's collapsing around me. I need to escape. I need to go out and be anywhere else but... Why are the witches looking for me? You are the heir to the Tenenbaum. No doubt the evil witches want you on their side so they can continue wreaking havoc in Angeal with the fairy tale curse. The men that were looking for you, Yumeko, were not witches though. They were knights. Perhaps the witches and the knights are working together. This must be a part of Alcas's scheme to steal the throne. What are you talking about? The reason why Garen and I left the Order of Caldria is because the king did not believe us about Alcas's group. How would he know the prince's identity, though? Anyone who isn't a witch, a fairy, or isn't cursed shouldn't be able to remember her. Ugh. But now we know that it's not just the witches looking for the princess, but the Knight Order of Caldera as well. They definitely have a description of her from someone. Yumeko. Kama reaches out a hand to touch my shoulder, and I flinch back before standing up. I cannot speak about this now. I want to be alone. Let her go. She'll need a lot of time to think. I leave everyone sitting at the table as I try to process the whirling thoughts in my mind. Hilda, my mother, the only person I ever thought loved me, was the Tenenbaum bearer, a witch, the first witch to kill a human, the witch that started the fairy tale curse. All this time I thought Mother was the only one who cared, but what if she never did? I stay in my room for a long time, trying to process everything that I've been told. Days go by before I decide to leave the tavern again to watch Karma practice with the knights. These last few days I felt hollow. Maybe seeing the normal practices will help me feel better. Maybe it will make things feel like nothing's changed. When I arrive at the forest, however, only Karma is standing in the clearing. He's staring through the trees as if he sees something there, but his expression is solemn, almost sad. Eventually he sighs, shaking his head before turning in my direction. Yumeko! I prepare myself for a response, but find that no words come to mind. I've not spoken to Karma since the talk about my mother and wishes, and any of the ease I felt with him before has slipped away. Still, I come here on my own, and I cannot just stand here being mute. I say the first thing that comes to mind. What are Julian and Garland? I'll only train with Garland. Julian is on patrol tonight. He'll be here later. I just came early. It seems you did too. Yumeko, are you okay? I'm sorry I haven't been by to see you. It is not as if you owe that to me. I don't owe it to you, but I truly wanted to. I've just been busy these last few days scouting the town for information. As much as I want you to come with me, why would you ever have wanted to pair up with someone like me anyway? Why, Princess, that's because you're... I'm bitter and cold, and even though I want to change, all I can think about is myself. But now, I want to change because I do not want to be the same as my mother. Isn't that selfish? Maybe so, but I believe you're being selfish for the right reasons. An entirely selfless person can't survive in this world. Before we can make others happy, we have to be happy ourselves. Happy? Ourselves? Yes. An angry person holds resentment towards everyone, and it mars whatever good deeds they seek to do. That is why I cannot simply complete my good deeds. Wrong. You've already got one done. Recognizing the need for change is always a good thing, Yumeko. Regardless of the motivation, you're trying to become a better person. That is what matters. He takes a step towards me, then puts his hand on my shoulders and leans down until I can look right into his eyes. Karma's serious expression startles me as much as his touch. It is never too late for anyone to change. You taught me that. What? How could I have taught Karma anything? Do you mind if I tell you a story, Yumeko? You're sounding too close. Step away from him or don't move. Well, obviously we're not going to move. We have no reason to move. Don't move. With his face so close, all I can do is stare right into his eyes. Karma's hand tightens on my shoulders, and for a few moments, I feel a slight panic rising in my chest. Then, Karma steps away from me with a rough shake of his head. Karma? Next time I do that, Yumeko, feel free to push me away. What? It's better that way. What does he mean by that? You never answered. Will you listen to my story? Oh, wait. Oh, wait, no. You probably should have done the other option. Maybe I might go back. Fuck it, we're going back. Can I go back? Maybe I can. Whatever. It's fine. Alright. Yeah, because I think I shouldn't have kept staring at him. Because, his whole thing is like, oh yeah, women fall for me when I'm in my man mode. So it's like, by showing resistance, it's like, oh, we're different, I guess. Once upon a time in a far land, in a land far, far away, there lived a crown prince from a kingdom called Brigantia. Brigantia is one of the neighboring kingdoms, so this isn't make-believe. His name was Claude Idric Rinaldi Matthias Almonte. Jesus fucking Christ! But because the name was such a mouthful, he settled for an acronym as a nickname, at least around the palace where it was accepted. Claude Idric Karma. Prince Claude was a man who flaunted his beauty and talents to all that he met. He often used his title to get what he wanted. Prince Claude was a selfish man who felt like he was entitled to everything that he had. He was vain and often left his castle unattended so that he could avoid his responsibilities. Then, one day, he chanced upon a beautiful maiden in the town square. He led her around the whole day, being as charming as he possibly could. And then, at the end of the day, he asked the woman to be his lover. She agreed, but their time together did not last long. Only weeks later, Prince Claude threw her away as one throws away an object, and broke the woman's heart. And she cursed him. That beautiful maiden was a witch, but Prince Claude found out too late. The witch said she would make his beauty, his vanity, a curse. To make even beauty a curse? Ashamed of being cursed, Prince Claude donned a disguise and left his kingdom behind. He's been gone nearly for a decade now. Well, he's been gone for nearly a year now, and most probably assume he is dead. But in truth, the prince had come to Angiel seeking a way to break his curse. He had heard of a young lady named Yumeko, who, on her 18th birthday, could dispel any curse. Karma. He looks so sad. I don't know how to comfort him. Claude. Karma. Claude turns a startling red as he stares at me, and for a few moments he does not speak. Then he bursts out laughing. I stare at him in shock, not understanding his reaction. I feel myself flush. Isn't that your real name? No, darling, it is. But hearing you say my name, well, it sounds so much softer out of your lips. I'd rather like it. My cheeks are warm again. How is it that he's always able to make me feel this way? I will call you by that name if it makes you happy. Let's make it a secret between the two of us. I'm still Miss Karma here. Besides, I'd rather you kept that name for my ears only. It makes me feel more special that way. More special? At that moment, Garland shows up for practice, and Claude politely excuses himself. I watch the two of them trade blows. Claude favours his other hand, and his blows still come quickly, even with his injury. The more Claude tells me, the more I realise that he's, like me, a noble curse of being selfish. But how do I break his curse? Why can't he tell me? As practice is drawing to a close, Claude asks Garland the usual question. Have you confessed to Julian yet? Garland only shakes his head in reply. The two men sheathe their swords. Garland looks almost sad as he turns to make his way back to the tavern. He looks like... He likes her and he won't say anything. Why has that frustrated me so much? Garland. Yes, princess? You have to tell Julian. Come on, man. Come on, man. Ugh. Claude told me before that confessing is hard, but what Garland is going through looks even harder. Princess, you know I'm incapable. No, you think you're incapable, but if you never say anything to her, you'll never know. If I say something wrong, I risk losing everything that I already have with her. And if you say nothing, you risk losing what you could have with her. Yumeko is right. Maybe you should really tell her, Garland. But before, Claude was adamant that Garland shouldn't confess to Julian. What changed? If I mess this up... Let's try looking at it through another lens. Imagine that Julian is Yumeko. How do you think she would like being confessed to? I frowned at the two men, arms crossed. Excuse me? Well, you and Julian are very similar. You're both very straightforward. Confess to the princess? My eyes moved to Claude, but only fleetingly, before they're once again on Garland. You just need to do something simple, Garland. Something that will not rub her the wrong way. A maiden's heart is very fragile, and each woman is different. Claude is wearing an amused smile on his face, but he's looking at me, not Garland. I feel my face flush and have to look away. Yumeko, your tomato red again. It's adorable. I cross my arms over my rapidly beating heart again and force a scowl on my face. No, I was just thinking about what Garland could do. Something simple, like when Karma kissed my hand. Garland kissing Julian's hand is probably not a good idea. Maybe he could go with what Claude and I did that one day in town. He can buy some food and they can just... talk. Talk? Talk. I can't say it right. Garland, have you ever just asked Julian out for food? Not alone. Julian is practical and she always eats at the tavern. She's always on duty if she's not available. If she's available. I'll take a patrol shift 2 nights from now then. Tomorrow, you can ask her for a meal. We can make your invite a grand affair. We can drape banners on the walls, or I could give you a rose. That sounds like a terrible idea. I am offended. I feel like if I did something like that for Jurian, she would just get embarrassed and punch me. Sounds like another lady that I know. Claude grins at me, but I just roll my eyes. Darling, just ask her normally, and then when you're out alone together, you can confess. And we'll make sure that you have the time to do it. I'll purposefully come late to practice tomorrow night so that you can ask her out for a date. How does that sound? You two really think I can do this? You just have to ask the question. Whatever follows will at least be an answer. Tomorrow night, then. Good man. I'm sure it will go swimmingly. Or I could drown. You won't drown, Garland. You'll drown in that Garland excuses himself with a nervous smile before Claude turns to me expectantly with a mischievous grin. Now, Yumeko, we'll come here early tomorrow and spy on them. We need to scope out a good spot. Spy on them? Of course! We need to make sure that our efforts pay off. I don't think we should. You don't even want to see how it plays out. I mutely shake my head, unable to put my emotions into words. For some reason I'm imagining myself in Jolene's position. It feels too personal. Claude's likeness suddenly springs to mind, and I feel my face grow hot again. Yumeko, you've been oddly out of it today. Claude reaches out a hand towards me, then abruptly pulls away. I stare as he smiles at me, almost sheepishly. The conversation between us dies and we return to the mansion. Days pass, and though I do not spy on the conversation between Jodie and Garland, I notice that Garland has been smiling from ear to ear during his practice with Claude recently. I can only assume that his confession went well. Claude took the patrol shift tonight, and as I lie in my bed, I am restless. Every time I watch Claude practice with Jodie and Garland, I'm reminded of the palace, of Fritz. I wonder how Fritz is doing. Is he still practicing with the other knights? My thoughts darken as I recall the kidnappings. Claude had to save me every single time. He got injured saving me. Unable to sleep, I slip out of the bed and make my way to the reception room. The night air is cool, and no one stops me from standing just outside of the mansion. I cannot just sit back and do nothing anymore. I have to act. I do not want Claude to get hurt because of me again. Eventually I see Claude approach. He looks tired and is moving more slowly than usual, but when he sees me, his lips quirk into a smile. Yumeko, what are you doing out here tonight, love? Love, instead of darling. That's new. Hello, Claude. His face is dark red again. If you're using my real name, I suppose you've come to ask for something serious. How could he know that? I do need to ask something of you. Well, if you need a shoulder to cry on, I'm right here, love. What? Oh, is this not about... Never mind. I'm asking if you'll be my instructor. For some reason, I seem to have caught Claude quite off guard. He stares at me for a few moments. What? I want to learn how to use the sword, and I want you to be my instructor. Claude's expression becomes uncharacteristically serious. I'd rather you didn't learn how to use the sword. I do not want to have you keep protecting me. I don't mind protecting you. I do. Claude sighs and shakes his head. Princesses shouldn't be using swords. I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet. You are. I do not want you to get hurt again when I could do something about it. Teach me. Please. Claude. Once again he flushes. It seems to be an instant reaction, and it is both amusing and endearing. It won't be easy. I wasn't expecting it to be. Claude stares at me for a long time before finally letting out a heavy sigh. Fine, I'll train you. You won't learn in a day, but I can teach you the essentials. You can use one of the knight's training swords.
Thank you.
Music to my ears. Meet me in the clearing in 10 minutes.
10 minutes? What?
You said you wanted to train, so we will. Don't expect me to go easy on you.
But aren't you tired? He looked exhausted when he came in, and now he wants to train.
Already trying to get out of training?
I am not. Claude shakes his head, but he's smiling.
I'll see you then in a few minutes, love. Alright, I think we're gonna pause there. Head to main menu. Alright. So, definitely some progress with now Claude. And I have a feeling that we're gonna have to start taking our own confession advice sometime soon here. So in Rod's Route, the whole climax of the story was that, oh yeah, some rebellion thing by Sir Mithros, but then Mithros betrayed Alcaster, but then I think Fritz, who was disguised as like some magician or something like that, comes in and does some weird stuff. I don't know. It was a little bit. It was a lot of crazy stuff happening there. But yeah, I think that it feels at least like the climax of this might be coming soon, or maybe I'm just, maybe I just really have a fucked perception of time because of how long it's been since I've actually played this game. But anyways, that's going to be it for me for this time. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like on the video and tell me in the comment section below what you would like to see me play next. If you enjoyed this video or any of the videos or series on my channel, then I highly recommend you hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you'll be notified when I do one of those videos comes out. Anyways, that's it for me, and I'll see you in the next one.